What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Goats. We are getting into a mock draft 4.0. We're going to do another two-rounder. Rumor has it that we might even be including some trades with all of the news that's circulating, all the moves that are circulating that have came about today. We're going to get into that in just a few moments. We're going to get into, of course, the NFL mock draft 4.0 in just a few minutes. We'll say hello to the boys who are going to be cranking out the fire picks in just a few moments. But let me just make you guys aware that yes, we are under 2 weeks. As a matter of fact, it is 2 weeks from today. We will be in round 2 and 3. You should join us. We will be reacting to every pick by pick, team to player, player to team. Join us. Yeah, again, round 1 Thursday. We'll get on here at 7 o'clock. We'll be here live, and then on Friday, round 2 and 3. All you got to do to see us react to all the picks and really to get all of our off-season content going right into these 2025 season. Just give us a like and subscribe. We're working on this goal. It's the 500 sub goal that we're looking to break before the kickoff.
Yep.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna get right at it. So, gentlemen, how are you today? Marvin, JX, and we've got the commissioner. Are we ready to rock and roll, or did you want to maybe give a little preview as to what you're thinking about, how you want to make your selections based off of? Really, I mean, like, this is, let's not forget, there was also a very important visit that took place yesterday with Shedeuer Sanders, and then compound that with today's news. Rhino, JX, Marvin.
To start with the Flacco, I think that changes things.
Does it?
I still think Cleveland does draft a quarterback, but at least with Flacco in there, they'll have a good veteran presence for a young quarterback to learn behind after a year. Or they might just say, okay, we'll just go with Flacco and wait till next year. And then with the Derek Carr news that broke out, that changes a lot of things, because now I think New Orleans will draft a quarterback, but I think Rodgers signs with New Orleans now, because they can't. Let's say they draft Dart, they can't throw Dart out there week 1. He's not ready for that. I don't know if Sanders is ready for it either.
Well, with all the news happening today, I don't want us to get too ahead of ourselves, as far as the Saints and Shedeuer. And I know it could be a possibility, but I do want to remind people that they have a very talented individual already there in New Orleans who you could argue is more talented than guys that could be potentially drafted this year. I think Spencer Rattler has just about as much talent, or, you could say, or more than the guys that are being drafted. But like I said, we'll see how the Saints kind of play it from here, but it does make things interesting.
But with that, though, do you think, this is my thought on that, if that was the case, if they had that much confidence in Rattler, then they wouldn't have extended Derek Carr?
Well, they could still be looking to be building him. He wasn't a finished product either coming out of the draft with a 4th round pick. They picked him for development. And the past couple of days comments too, as far as Cam Jordan and everything we're here reporting, like, they really believe that they can win with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
So that kind of tells me that they're good with what they got. I know it's crazy that sounds. They sound like they're good at what they got, but like I said, it makes things interesting at number 9. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, mock draft, Marvin?
I mean, I don't think it changes anything at all for Cleveland, honestly. I never thought Cleveland was going to draft a quarterback at 2 anyway. They might still draft a quarterback, but I think that they'll be more than happy to take a flyer on a later round guy rather than drafting somebody at 2. At 2, I think they'll definitely go either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, depending on which one they like the most, because it's pretty much going to be their choice.
Yeah.
And New Orleans, I don't know. Like New Orleans is a funny situation because they kept saying they believe in Carr, but I think that if what's his name, Kellen Moore, has a chance to start all over to draft somebody that he likes, especially if like let's say Jackson Dart is available at 9. Like I
Right.
think Kellen Moore would love to take a guy like Jackson Dart because even if you end up with having two quarterbacks that are, just about the same, if Rattler can't really beat out Jackson Dart, you can just trade one of them if you feel like, one of them is progressing better than the other. So I still think New Orleans is going to take a quarterback and very high. And I would like to think that Kellen Moore would get a chance to pick his own guy.
And then one thing I saw too earlier was that AOC might be on the trading block too.
Oh yeah, right.
So
And he's a solid stopgap.
yeah. All right. What do you think,
Hmm.
C?
What do I think about? Well, I mean, let's start with the Saints information, the Saints news. I'm kind of in the camp with JX. Yeah, like you did draft that dude last year. He doesn't have much of he doesn't have he didn't he doesn't have much of A, experience, but B, we don't have much of a playbook on him either. Like he doesn't have many reps, he doesn't have many snaps. So like yeah, on one hand you do have him. You could give it a go to develop him. Kellen Moore's worked with some. He's got a good resume. I mean, are they just really like? Do they really not like him with just seeing like the limited amount of time that he played? So yeah, I'm kind of like, why would they have to go spend up and get a quarterback again? The Derek Carr again, that's interesting because like if he's going to be like the shoulder now, and I'm assuming that that's the same problem that he had from this previous season.
Could be.
That's not
Hmm.
not corrected, or he re-aggravated it, just throwing like Rodgers is throwing at UCLA. Then okay, like now I understand why you're down a quarterback, you're down depth at the position. But again, that just circles me right back to the Spencer Rattler thing. Like, what you giving up on this dude that fast? You have it in your mind that you're just relegating him as a backup quarterback this quickly. So I'm not. I don't know if I was never in the camp that the Saints were going to take Shedeuer Sanders to begin with, even without this news or
No,
Jackson.
no, because they've been higher on Jackson Dart than Shador Sanders.
And B, we now again, I'd say it's a little foolish to say, well, what about if we had a healthy Derek Carr, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Well,
Right.
that might be true because and yeah, we would not be necessarily having this conversation. Now that doesn't mean that you have like a Pro Bowl quarterback on your roster either. But you do have a veteran. You do have an experienced quarterback who's been around,
Right.
again, I mean, you call it what it is.
He at least gives you a near 500 floor.
He's got his pros, but he definitely has his cons. All right, so I mean that's the same situation. I don't know if this necessarily means they got to go spend the 9th pick in the draft on one of these quarterbacks. Now, the Flacco news in Cleveland, that's even more interesting because like we knew going into that they were just with Kenny Pickett. We
Mhm.
we were like, okay, fine. We're all operating under some sort of pretense that Kirk Cousins now waives the no trade clause after the draft, and boom, they could just like work this out. Yeah, well, I know from what I heard directly out of the owner's mouth that they're totally fine having this dude that they are paying handsomely as their backup quarterback because again, backup quarterbacks don't just grow on trees. They have a very, very reliable backup to Michael Penix, but I also understand the organizational standpoint of we don't like how is Michael Penix going to be able to respond to that with Kirk Cousins roaming around the sidelines in the shadows? So
I don't think Penix will have a problem because Penix is
I don't.
clearly better than him.
I don't necessarily think that Penix would have the problem either, but lands me now back to Cleveland. They may be saying, "To hell with that.
Hmm.
To hell with that." Now here are our options,
Hmm. I think
right?
Cleveland is definitely comfortable with Flacco.
Yeah.
We have Kenny Pickens. Okay, on one hand, familiar with the area, familiar with the weather and the geography, blah blah
Hmm.
blah blah blah. I'm trying to talk this man up. Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett, and now we have Flacco, the last quarterback that got us to the playoffs. Maybe we stay the course.
Hmm.
Maybe we stay the course. We know we're not going to trade off for that pick. And no one in their right mind thinks Shedeur Sanders should be the second overall pick in this draft either.
I'm not gonna lie, and this sounds absolutely nasty. It sounds icky. I feel like bugs call me right now. There is a formula where they continue to build their defense and they run the ball to a 10-7, maybe even 9-8 record. I mean, that sounds absolutely nasty, but with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, it absolutely could happen and they could stay viable.
Hmm.
Yep.
And not to mention, they're going to take one of these backs because they just let Nick Chubb go.
Yeah.
So
It's
depending on which one of these running backs they get and whatever reinforcements they get on the O line, they could definitely, especially if they go Abdul Carter too, because then you pair Abdul Carter with a guy like Miles Garrett, then you've got like a formidable
Yeah, like
set of edge rushers.
you're kind of ferocious at that point. And like you said,
Hmm.
I think they're also going to be taking somebody who can bell cow for them. If they believe Nick Chubb still could, he probably would still be there.
Of course,
But we'll,
yeah,
yeah, we'll
And they
see.
know Jerome Ford can't.
Yeah, yeah,
That's proven right
right.
there.
yeah.
this. I mean, look, and we could talk about it a little bit more in just a few moments because we all know that this draft, including this mock draft, starts at the number 2 pick. But
Yeah.
yeah, look, it might be, it may not be the sexiest thing to us, the viewer, watching the Browns play, but I've been saying it now for weeks. Like if they win games 10-7, if or if they conversely lose games 17-10 because they can't keep up with offense, they're gonna look to be really really good on defense. And here's the other thing that I really truly believe. Rhino will be like, yeah, I see, I told you so. Karma is a bitch. But I know that's where Rhino's going to say, but I don't think they want history to repeat themselves. They're not in any business. They don't have the luxury. Really, no team right now, as we've seen over the last two or so seasons, two or so drafts. You don't really see these teams tossing away first round picks. I'm going to give a first round pick tonight if I can, but much different reason, much different organization. But the Browns sure as hell ain't going to do that. They're in no position whatsoever to be making capital deals and capital gains and capital moves for quarterbacks right now. I think they're either going to have to stick with what they did in free agency and attempt to develop a dude. And it ain't going to be Shedeur
That,
Sanders
that's
at
what.
number 2.
No.
That's why it's more
Mhm.
likely that they trade back from the 2 spot than it is that they would try and
Because
mortgage their future for a
um,
for a quarterback.
Marvin, I get it, but then then you're passing up on a real banger. I think
I mean,
or one out of two. You've got two bangers in this draft that could really reshape your organization, really catapult it, really make a difference. What were we talking about, JX, earlier in the week? Impact players. We've got two dudes. One of them is a hybrid. One of them plays on both sides of the ball, and the other one looks like a freaking home wrecker. He looks like an absolute animal. He looks like a beast. Let's
Mhm.
go.
I had
Let
I had a little bit of a debate with somebody about this earlier too, because like I get the idea that if you're picking at 2, that the person that you're drafting is supposed to be some, organizational like, tilter or like somebody who's supposed to like change the fortunes of your franchise. But we've seen talent get ruined because the rest of the organization wasn't really up to par time and time again. So it's like if they were to become, let's say, top heavy, and they were to take Abdul Carter, and then let's say, God forbid, Abdul Carter were to get nicked up, now they have a giant hole at defense at the other end spot. Or if Miles Garrett would have missed some time, now they have a giant hole at that end spot.
Yeah.
Where instead they could trade back a couple of spots to like 5 or like 7 ish, and they can get still like a Tetero McMillan, they can get a Jahad Campbell, they can get a Mike Green. They can get another like solid guy while gaining some more like draft picks because they're gonna need some more bodies. Like because they just paid Miles Garrett all that money, they're gonna need some more draft picks to fill out the rest of the roster because they're not gonna be able to pay everybody that they want to pay. So, and especially because the quarterbacks, this is kind of a meh class. So I think that because somebody might try and jump up to two, that Cleveland would probably be willing to trade back just so they
Yeah.
can get some more assets.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
So we got Cam Ward already taken on. So
Yeah, Cam Ward
Yeah,
is
Cam
there.
Ward's a
Look,
shoo in.
let's
we
let's
already
start,
we yeah
let's start from here then.
we already know that's the pick. I mean,
Hmm.
without
Hmm.
all signs are pointing to that not changing. So yeah, the draft starts in Cleveland. Do you want to make the pick, Marvin?
Yeah.
Okay, who we going here? Ronald Marvin, me.
Yeah. Marvin, you, Sig, then me. Let's go up the line like that.
All right.
Look at the big scout.
All right.
Big scout. We
I
really
mean,
gave him Cam Ward, baby.
yeah, I mean, I'm a huge believer in the trenches, and I think those Abdul Carter, Miles Garrett could potentially like wreck your entire game plan. I don't think a lot of teams in the NFL, let alone in the AFC, have two bookend tackles
No.
that can handle both of those guys.
I'm sorry. I'm getting used to our trading, our trading mechanism here, just in case. Just in case
Hmm.
we need to execute one. All right. So did you want to what's the pick or what's the
Abdul
deal?
Carter.
Is all right. So I think we're all in the same camp
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think we
Now in
are. I think that's the pick. I really do. They
Hmm.
may they may do Travis. I'm kind of hoping that they don't do Travis because I would want the Giants to take Travis. I think we're gonna see. If I needed to predict, if I had the crystal ball, 2 weeks from today or 2 weeks from yesterday, we will see Titans, Browns, Giants, and Patriots, as a matter of fact, making their picks. But let's look. This is why it's called a mock.
So let me ask you guys this question right now. Then,
Listening.
would there be a team that might possibly jump up to where the Giants at to get Travis Hunter?
I don't think the Giants trade away that
Mm-mm.
opportunity.
No.
Yeah, that's just what it comes down to. Now with Antoinette, I do think Travis Hunter's a pick here. That's who I would pick right here, Travis Hunter. I think the real opportunities happen with the next pick, with the Patriots pick.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of interested to see what maybe you are thinking. It's like like Marvin was saying, there are teams that need to build some assets here and gather some assets. I think the draft honestly starts at 4 because it becomes the GT sweepstakes at that point. Who
Okay.
really wants GT? But like I said, I'll leave that to Ron to see what he wants to do.
No, six go.
Oh, so he's going okay. Then
Yeah.
Sieg can take that option.
Well, with the Patriots pick, I think they're gonna go in the trenches. That
Going
that would
Cheddar,
that
so bro.
would. I mean, if I gotta pin it to the coach and how he likes to play, how he wants his team to be built. Now, the $1 million question from there is it going to be Graham on defense, or do we go with Will Campbell, the tackle, on offense? I don't have a problem with either or. To be honest, I think we'll stay chalky here. We'll stay chalky. I'm not gonna go Mason Graham.
All right. So I got Jaguars.
Yeah, this sad organization. Just a sad organization. Forgive me.
All right. So
Forgive me, anyone that's a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. I'm pulling for you, but the organization is not desirable. I'm sorry.
all right. So let me ask you guys this: because of there's so much talk between maybe the Raiders taking Genty or the Jets drafting Genty. Do you think the Jets move up to do that?
Why would the Jets draft Genty?
Hey, there's a
uh,
lot of chatter.
Not only do they have Brees Hall, even if
Right.
they were to somehow trade Brees Hall, they still have Allen. There is no way that the Jets would draft
You
Ashton
don't think so?
Genty.
yeah,
That would
and
make
I
zero
look.
Okay, I'm
sense.
just saying that's just some chatter. Okay, so
Yeah,
with Jacksonville's pick,
Rich Samini, like put that out there. Okay, he's the Jets beat reporter for
you
ESPN.
know, somebody
It's
put
a
it out there.
total clickbait shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
yeah. I
It
don't.
may it doesn't make any bit of football sense
At
whatsoever.
all.
I mean, look,
Even even Isaiah Davis is viable. I mean, he put some pretty decent stuff on film last year.
Yeah.
You kind of
That's what
three
I'm
running back
right.
deep. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
they have more than enough capable bodies.
All right, so
Yeah,
Jaguars at number 5. They go Jalon Walker.
Walker,
Sloan Walker.
Skywalker. Where is he? Maybe he's over here.
I wanted to say Malachi Starks, but I don't know if they go Malachi Starks. But I think they might
Yeah,
go.
not that high.
I
I
think
love
they go.
Malachi Starks, but I
Yeah,
don't know if he's going that high.
and I like. I mean, I could say wide receiver too, but knowing where they pick in the second round is they can get a nice receiver in the second round too. So
It
Mhm.
look, they were like that. If not the worst, the second to worst defense in the league last
yeah,
season. I would
Hmm.
say that's a good pick right there.
yeah. All right, Marvin.
Here's the
What should
million
my
So
dollar
Raiders
pick.
do? What should my
so
Raiders
I
do?
was so I looked at the Raiders like depth chart.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I like to do before like, doing mock drafts and seeing like some of the areas of weakness or even some of the areas that could use improvements. And the left side of the Raiders line is actually pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have Colton Miller at left tackle, they have Jackson Powers, the guy from that played at
He's
Yeah,
Oregon, at
Jackson
going
Powers
center.
to play
Johnson.
center. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I think they got Alex Kappa at left guard or something like that.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
So
he
they
was
act
like one of the worst rated guards.
yeah, he.
I mean,
PFF.
yeah, but it's because of the. I think that it's because of the O line that he played on. Like I
Okay.
think that O line has a lot to do as much to do with the people that are around you as it has to do with you as an individual. Like
Yeah.
I think if you have strong pieces like around you on the O line, your job becomes a little bit easier. And I think that Pete Carroll is the type of guy who is going to want to establish the run. He's going to
Yep.
want to dominate the trenches. He's going to want to control both lines of scrimmage. And because of that, I think that they would want an Ashton Genty. I think they would want another Marshawn Lynch essentially because they have the same running style. And I think they could easily find, another guard, another tackle in a later round and fill out the rest of the whole line. And Genty would be a smash pick here, especially because of Gino. Gino works so well on play action. You put a guy that's that talented behind him. Absolutely.
But also the weakness on their team is DB. So I can see them going Will Johnson or Barron too right
Well,
here.
they added a couple of DBs. They added Eric Stokes. They added Jeremy Chin. They
But who's the safety
already
though?
have Troy Polamalu's nephew.
Safety.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but they have some DBs and they still have Jack Jones. So like they have some
But they're going to
DBs
be
that they could
trading
move
him.
around and that they could create some mismatches.
All right.
So who's up?
Next, you're
I
up.
think a guy like Gentry in this offense, it kind of
Yeah, no, look,
And that's the
Definitely.
hot. That's the hot.
it's
That's
all
the
you,
hot
Jax.
name.
you're
Yeah,
getting
sure.
the
I'm gonna
best.
go with the pick that like I said, I'm going off reports here. And I don't know if the Jets organization knows they'll be in this position, but we have Will Campbell and Armand Membu on the board. But with Olu Fashanu holding down the left side, I think it's just natural to take the guy who's better on the right side. So I'm gonna go with Armand Membu from Missouri at pick 7.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, just completely fill it out. Elijah Vera Tucker,
Hmm.
Membu, left tackle Fashanu, Titman, and I can't think of the left guard's name because I'm not that big of a Jets
They
fan. So
they kept the one dude that they signed in the 2024 offseason that's still on the roster. Not Moses, but Simpson.
oh yeah, there you go, Simpson they got him from the Ravens.
I want to say Simpson.
Yeah, John Simpson. Yeah, that's right. That offensive line right there that's the competitive offensive line. I'd take that every single day of the week.
Yeah, no, so will I. So will I.
30 rushing attempts a game minimum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Carolina Panthers again. I mean, they need a wide receiver, but they need more than that, man. They've got three capable wide receivers. You don't need a wide. I don't know why they would list a wide receiver here for the Panthers.
Because they don't have a wide receiver one.
Yeah, they don't have one as of they don't have an alpha.
Right. Yeah.
They may have a wide receiver one when as the season goes on, or maybe right out of jump. Maybe Xavier.
Who would you consider the wide receiver one?
Maybe Leggett turns into that guy. Maybe
Or Coker.
one of the two.
I think Coker's a solid 2.
While they got old man Thielen running out of the slot. I'm not suggesting or implying that they don't address the position, but that wouldn't be their top need for me.
Right. I mean, their top need has to be something on defense because they had one of the worst defenses in the league.
Yeah.
Top need for me would be defense. I don't know if it's a little high for Jihadi here. I call him Jihadi. I shouldn't. I got to start calling him Jihad. I don't know if it's a little high for him. Maybe Malachi Starks, but I mean that's kind of high for safety also. But the Georgia Bulldogs, you can't go wrong with a Georgia Bulldog. I don't think you could go wrong. I don't think you go wrong with that. I'm sure this dude hits like a beast. Let's not forget also a lot of these safeties now, right? These guys got to be toolsies, right? I'm sure he's able to be on the line. I'm sure he could cover a tight end or be around the slot area. So I'm gonna give him Malachi Starks.
Okay.
I'm gonna give him Malachi Starks.
I like that. I like that.
Here the Saints.
All right, so the Saints. Okay, so I think the Saints go Mason Graham right here, and then they'll trade back into the first round to get Dart.
Didn't we already take Mason Graham?
Yeah, do we take Mason Graham?
We took him I thought we took him at the top.
No.
I think we did.
Yeah, Mason Graham went to the Patriots.
He's a New England Patriot. You lose a turn.
I didn't get my card in time, like the Vikings.
You didn't get the card in time. That's right.
All right, so they go to the next. You go to the next best defensive lineman, or no? You know what? I think at 9 is too early for Dart. I do think they trade back in, so I think they'll go Tet. Tet McMillan, playing on the other side of Olave.
Well, I mean, with the news today, okay, so before today, I would have agreed with that Jackson Dart would not be a target here at 9.
They can't.
But you sat back, you let the draft come to you, and granted, you do have some other areas of need, but as we keep seeing every single season, if you hit on the quarterback, you can mask some of your other holes. At least if you have somebody who's capable.
Standards here, but
why not?
I mean,
I
I just don't want to.
no.
I don't want to confuse. I don't want to confuse. Jaden Daniels with Jackson Dart.
No,
No,
Or sort of,
no,
so
no
yeah,
one's
I mean,
doing that.
and I hear what you're
and
saying, like a quarterback mask thing, but Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May, those are a different level,
Yeah, but
you know.
those are exceptions though. Like those are different. Those are guys that are in tiers of their own. Like that's not
Exactly,
what Jackson Dart is.
no,
But
exactly.
what
Dart needs
That's what I'm
a
Jackson
kind of
Dart,
city
saying.
year. Dart needs a
but
city year.
what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
Otherwise, if Casey, if they draft him and he gets thrown out there, New Orleans Saints didn't have the best offensive line to begin with last
Mhm.
year. So you're going to send a rookie out there that already needs help. It could damage him. It could damage him.
yeah, and that's why I don't think quarterback could be a pick at 9.
No, so that's why I think maybe Tet.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a bad omen, but it's a bad omen.
Especially
He
with
plays like
Tet.
Michael
What's a
Thomas.
bad omen?
If Olave freaking hits his head one more time, he might not ever play again because
yeah,
he's so concussion prone.
Hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be Rashid Shaheed's team soon enough.
Yeah.
Rashid Shaheed's team. Select a team to
All
trade.
right.
so I'm looking at this Bears pick. Um, I'm thinking that they may be open if the board goes this way, goes this way. But I'm just gonna make the easy choice and take Tyler Warren because that's hard to pass up too. So yeah, the Bears will go with Tyler Warren at pick
See, that's
10.
That's juicy.
that's crazy because I was just about to say Indy would probably trade with Chicago
Okay.
and uh, um and
Wait,
swap
talk to
so
me.
Indy could draft Tyler
Talk.
Warren.
Hey, talk to me. I am absolutely open to trade offers at this 10 pick. So if you would like to
So what?
formulate
Yeah. So
something,
what would the
I
trade offer
am.
be?
Yeah, what would that trade offer be, Marvin?
So I think, because I'm not really sure, because I know they have like a system where they weigh the different draft picks and like each one of them has a value, but that's the GM system, and that's like super
Yeah,
complicated. But I
yeah,
think if a trade like this were to happen, it would probably be so Indy would receive the 10th pick, probably whatever Chicago's like earliest third round pick is,
I
and then
think it's
Indy would
33.
give them 14 and
So well here, I mean
maybe well actually
Chicago,
or those are
Indianapolis.
okay, a team
yeah,
to trade with.
yeah. Just
Yeah,
for the
so
sake
so
of
pick Indy.
exercise, just swap the ones for the sake of exercise here.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're it's basically
14
14,
and 10.
10, all for trade,
Okay.
Yep, and we should be able to get that going.
not
Wait, no, you
accepted.
have to include some other, yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
you have to
you
because
What?
a
can
straight
you
one
can
for one wouldn't work.
well
include
you can force trade. Just force the trade.
So
So I think it's in the bottom right corner.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but to make this more realistic though, because they
Uh,
they
well,
wouldn't do this trade. They wouldn't trade 10 and 14.
Well,
we're
yeah, but
gonna
like I said,
we're gonna give them a couple of undrafted free agent picks and some 2028 conditionals.
no, you
yeah,
probably
That's what
go
we're
Yeah,
gonna
with
but I
do.
think yeah, but I
Oh,
think that this is a good spot that like where Indy would try to jump
yeah.
anywhere between 10 to like 12 so they can
mm,
try and see if they can get a Tyler Warren if he's still available once he hits the double digits. Because I know for a fact that Ballard tried to trade up last year to get into the top 10, but people weren't really sure whether it was going to be for Roma Dunze or whether it was going to be for Brock Bowers. But I wholeheartedly believe that it would have been for Brock Bowers because I think in a dynamic tight end like changes Shane's offense entirely.
And then if that trade would probably
good move.
require put like the second round pick and probably a 2 next year to make it go through. You know.
Or I mean, it seems like people and picks are being traded for less than they used to. So it might be like this swap and then our third, and then our like second next season.
Yeah.
So it might just be like 3 picks, and then we get pick 10, and like we probably get like a guard or something, or like one of their DBs, something like that.
All right.
We got San Fran's on the clock. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are in the war room right now. They're trying to decide whether they want to do Jahadi Byron on for lockdown, shut down defense, or do they want to do one of the edge rushers? San Fran, so many holes, so many holes.
I thought I thought Nick Bosa was gonna go to not Nick. I'm sorry, Joey. I always confused them. I
Yeah.
thought Joey Bosa was gonna go to the Niners. That would have been pretty cool.
I don't think they like the pedigree out of Marshall. But I do have a feeling they like the pedigree out of Boston College. I don't know.
Yeah.
Call me crazy. Call me a stickler like that. I think they're gonna go with Izraku.
Yeah, and Ezuraku is the guy that's like the typical DN. He's tall. He's very like long limbed. Where like Mike Green is more short and explosive. So
Yeah.
like I think Nick is already that. So they probably wouldn't draft another Nick Bosa.
All right.
One
So I got
word
the
about
Cowboys.
Ezeraku really quick. Bendy. Super bendy.
Right.
I've seen that dude basically have his shoulders touch the ground. So, I mean, I
Hmm.
wouldn't be mad at it, but
All
it'll be
right
definitely
then.
a shock.
All
Well,
right. So the Cowboys are
you know who's up.
The
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I'm not even.
Dallas Cowboys.
I'm not even putting any graphics up. I'm not putting any pictures. They should just be like skeletons right now.
Mhm.
Yeah. They should
Skeletons.
go. They go golden.
Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on down. 2 wide receivers in the top
Mhm.
They should
12.
go. They should go offensive line, but I think they'll go golden.
You know,
Either go golden or Marion Hampton.
you know what we should do? I want to, and we'll take the information off of like one of the books, like FanDuel, DraftKings. But we ought to, between us, have a little contest regarding how many wide receivers go within the first 10 picks. How many, they've got all those props. I think we should do that amongst ourselves.
We should, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And it'll be entertaining for rounds 1, 2, and 3. How many
Mhm.
quarterbacks? I think the amount is 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the first round, yeah.
I mean granted that is like the betting public, right? It's like that's what dictates what the lines get set for, but
Mhm.
nevertheless, it's pretty accurate. It's pretty close anyway.
Right.
All
It's
right,
close.
so you're up.
Who's
Marvin.
up?
You're up, Marvin.
All right, Miami Dolphins. Will Campbell is the easiest pick they
Yeah.
can make. Their
Right.
left tackle just retired. They need tackle. They need O-line help bad.
Yeah, I didn't see Armstead retiring.
Mhm. Yeah, right?
Yeah, that was surprising. That was surprising. Do you think at some point in the draft that they draft another quarterback?
The Dolphins?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, of
Why?
course. You have to.
Why?
You have to.
Why?
Because they don't have a franchise quarterback.
Well, that and plus
Nonsense.
and
Nonsense.
They don't have a franchise quarterback. You
The
can't
paycheck says
you
otherwise.
can't consider Tua a franchise quarterback if
I'm not.
literally at any given moment Tua could be forced to stop playing football.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
in the way that I look at it, you don't have a franchise quarterback.
I hear you, Marvin.
You have a guy, yeah, you have a guy who can win you games, you have a guy who can run your offense, sure, but you don't have a franchise quarterback.
They've
Yeah,
got
but
Brigham
that
Young's
paycheck,
finest.
that paycheck is so heavy. I don't know how you cannot
mean,
commit to that. I
Just
understand what you're saying, but
this is
it's
what I
just
always say whenever it comes to contracts, right? Most quarterbacks get paid for what they did already, not what they're going to do in the future. Because when it's time for a quarterback to get paid, a lot of quarterbacks get paid and they don't deserve the contracts
Right.
because when you look at their future outlook, you can tell clearly they're not going to deserve that money. It happened to Daniel Jones. It's happening to Tua right now. It's happening to Trevor Lawrence. It's
Mhm.
like just
It might
because
happen
it's
to
their
Brock
turn to
Purdy.
get paid,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean they should have gotten paid.
Yeah, it might happen to Brock Purdy.
Right. It might happen to Brock Purdy.
It
Exactly.
will. It will.
I,
Yeah.
And
I don't think that it will because Brock Purdy has a better like situation than most of those quarterbacks. Brock Purdy is in an ecosystem. He's in a Shanahan ecosystem, and they're great at drafting.
my goat, pledge allegiance to my goat, Zach
You're
Wilson,
good.
the real starting quarterback of the Miami
The Cougar,
Dolphins.
the
Yeah,
Cougar Hunter,
why would they need to draft a quarterback when you got this dude?
the Cougar Hunter.
And man, they're saying it gets kind of spicy in Miami. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect that game.
And honestly, it would not surprise me at
Hmm.
all, if he actually looked decent in Miami. It would not surprise me at all.
No,
I'm not
no,
saying
no,
he's gonna
no.
be some world beater, but it would not surprise me at all if all he has to do is just get the ball to the right people at the right time in the right place, and they do the rest. Because the weapons that they have in Miami are ridiculous.
Surprised me.
All right. So he went Will Campbell the year up, Jax.
It would definitely surprise me.
All right. Um,
It's
so with them trading back, I'm going to disappoint the Falcons fans and take Mike Green for the Bears.
Ooh.
Ooh, that'd be nice for the Bears.
Mhm. And that's why I think the trade back's a possibility. If the board goes the way that we had it, and they miss out on GT, and I know Tyler Warner is the popular pick, but Colcom is still there. I mean, they can find another
Hmm.
tight end in the later rounds.
They'll be
Like,
happy to trade back.
yeah, they need to double down on tight end ones right now. Colcom is not an old guy, so yeah, trade back is definitely possible.
Hmm.
All right. So you're up with the Falcons. See.
Am I up?
Yeah.
Ooh, Falcons. Ooh, I like this pick. Here's where we'll go. Jody Barron.
Nice.
That's the pick right there. They need
All
to,
right.
they,
I
they
got
they
the
have they
Falcons.
have their offenses set. Their offense is
Hmm.
good, really
Yes, it
good.
is.
It is,
Really
yeah.
Right?
good.
It's time to play some defense for crying out loud.
All right. Yeah.
Cardinals.
So Cardinals have one of the worst secondaries, so they're going to go Will Johnson here.
Great
Ooh,
pick.
solid, solid.
Great pick.
Well, we
Is that me?
that's
Yep. It's
Marvin.
you.
Yep. Bengals need front seven help like they need water.
Yep.
So I could see them either going Jahad Campbell or Kenneth Grant. I mean, I like their linebackers. Their linebackers are pretty decent. They do need nose tackle help because they lost their DT. I'll go Kenneth Grant to the Bengals. Yeah, give him a
Nice.
little juice in the middle.
It's the Seahawks now. The Seahawks need a center, they need a guard, and they need the edge. Interesting. They're not well. We know that they're good with running back, but they're not even listing wide receiver. I mean, what do they have? They've got JSN and they've got Cooper Cup. Who the hell
Well,
else do they
MSN
have?
too.
They've got
Who?
they got
Jake
didn't
Bobo.
they? Yeah, they got Jake Bobo. They picked up
What am I
Marquez
missing?
Valdez Scantling.
Oh yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
they
yeah.
still have Noah Fant.
Yeah,
So I think they think they're good. They're good at pass catcher.
they're
They
not
should,
good.
if they're smart, they draft offensive line.
They're
But
not
I
good
don't
on the
know.
line. They're right.
Right.
But you have a
That
defensive mind. You have a defensive mind head coach, so they might go that way.
Yeah, and that's is it my pick?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if it's my pick, yeah, I'm taking. So what I want to do right here, what I want to do, but I'm not going to do. I want actually probably would think about taking Jaden Higgins here because they need a true X out there. But I'm not going to. I'm going to take the best defensive player available and take Jahad Campbell here with their first round pick. I'll take the best defensive player available
That
and
would be him
keep
and Ernest
building.
Jones together. Would be a good linebacker duel.
it
Yeah,
Hmm.
Jahad
works.
Campbell is versatile. He can play. He can play anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can play anywhere along the front seven.
Tampa Bay is up.
Tampa Bay.
He said edge, linebacker, DB, edge.
Boy,
Uh,
if the draft works out like the way it's going right now,
then they played that. Then they played it
they're looking
perfectly.
good. They'll be able to draft people good.
See, now this is what I was gonna do, right? And I guess we'll get to it in 2 picks. But if it does play out the way this is playing out in 2 weeks, then the Steelers playing this perfectly. But
But also, this could be the spot where the Giants or the Browns might trade back in to get a Dart
think
or a
I
Shedeuer
think.
Sanders.
See, all right. So who the Broncos going to take?
Oh, so
And
the
then
Broncos will take.
that way we could spend some time on the Steelers.
They'll take O'Brien Hampton.
That's the pick.
Yeah,
Awesome pick, yeah.
Although
they could wait. I mean, they could wait and take a chance in the second round and try to get maybe Trayvon Henderson. But they'll go Hampton.
Although I'm growing more fondly of Caleb.
Yeah,
he's just hitting. He's hitting home
He's a beast.
run after home run after home run, outside, inside, the other way outside.
His contact balance is insane.
Big time.
I mean, I would
Insane.
Goats do not be surprised if it's Caleb Johnson that finishes RB1 for rookies.
Yeah, he's like 6'2", 220.
Not necessarily Mr.
And he doesn't even move like that.
Not necessarily Mr. Ashton Genty, the generational dude. It may take him a little time. Well, he's gonna find out that the dudes that he was able to bounce off of in college at Boise State, he may not be able to bounce off of in the NFL.
No, it's a big difference between that.
But yeah,
I think he will.
Yeah, no,
I think he will.
Eventually, Marvin. Eventually,
I think he will day one. I don't think it's an eventually thing. I think contact balance and breaking tackles translates in the NFL more than any other metric for running backs.
It does. It does.
And he's small. He has a low center of gravity, so he is extremely hard to tackle.
So you're discounting professional linebackers and you're discounting professional linemen that tackle for a living.
No. I'm not discounting them. I'm just using other running backs who in recent seasons that have come out that have had Ashton Genty's frame, who have had crazy successes running people over and bouncing off tackles. I'm talking about guys like Doug Martin, David Montgomery. I'm talking about Maurice Jones-Drew, like all those small, compact, muscular guys. They're all hard to tackle. What's his name? On the Falcons. Freeman.
Monty's bigger than this dude.
No, they're about the same size.
He said the name though. He said the name that I always think about, but I never want to compare him because it's like discount Genty. But he is Doug Martin supercharged.
Yeah.
I'm glad Marvin said it so that I don't look like an idiot. That's what I say.
All right, Marvin, we're at the Steelers now.
Thanks for waiting, James.
Contact balance and breaking tackles translates day one.
It does.
All right, Marvin, what we do in the Steelers?
The Steelers actually, according to our mock draft 4.0, right? They played this one perfectly. I would have picked up the phone at the Bears or the Saints, even higher, and offered them a future first. They have to. If I'm the Steelers, I am going to mortgage this off right now. If you are the Steelers, you need to have the potential of this dude in Shedeuer Sanders. You have to. You can't. It's not. It's not. What's his face? Mason. No. Mason.
Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. Thank you. I'm saying Mason Crosby. He is not your future. Okay. Rodgers, if he decides to come around, which is looking more and more like it's not happening, he's not your future.
Is not your future.
Shedeuer Sanders. I mean, it's not a mistake that a lot of media outlets, I shouldn't say a lot of media outlets picked him up after his visit yesterday while he was waiting in the airport. And Shedeuer Sanders, let's give him a lot of credit. He has that same charm, charisma, as we've heard about. He is just as equally impressed with Mike Tomlin as we think the Steelers are just as impressed with Shedeur Sanders. You don't have to thrust him into a starting position right away. This would not be the mistake to make, taking the second quarterback off the board. Now, again, if Jackson Dart is your flavor, if he's your cup of tea, I don't know. I'm not sure. And you know what? I'm not even that sure about Shedeur, to be honest with you. Again, he's got his pros and he also comes with cons.
Who does
He
it?
does.
What rookie quarterback doesn't? You know?
It's true. It's absolutely true. But again, but if the Steelers, here's the thing though, if the Steelers don't think that they can wait, where it might be the Saints now, especially with today's news, then they're going to have to pick up the phone and make the move.
Yeah.
But I think this is the move here, regardless. Again, if it's Jackson Dart, it's Jackson Dart, but it's going to be one of the two.
But also, not necessarily. If let's say the Saints do go Shedeur Sanders, I mean, yes, at least Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe. The Steelers are high on Milroe.
Yeah, and I'm with you with Milroe. I think of Shedeur, and I just think that the conditions can affect him way too much in Pittsburgh. I think the Steelers brought him in to dot their I's and cross their T's, but they need somebody that can cut that cold, and that's why I think they're leaning heavier to Milroe. But you have to do your due diligence to bring Shedeur in because he's viable right now. With reports, he's viable right now. It looks like he may be available here, so you have to.
Yeah, so they and plus, if you think about it, which quarterback fits the Arthur Smith system better? You know, Milroe does.
I would argue Jackson Dart does.
Well, either one of them does. Either one of them does.
But Jackson Dart is the better passer though. That's why I would take Jackson Dart.
Yeah, for right now. So it's gonna be funny right here what they do. They go one of three positions, one of three right here.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
So
like,
let's say they do Sanders like you said.
I mean, like, again, let's just take a look at their roster as in whole. I mean, like, do you think that they really need another position that badly this early? I mean, they don't have a second round pick, so that needs to be taken into account. But I mean, again, I like they don't need to go get a lineman right now. They don't need they certainly don't need to take the third running back off the board right now. I mean, we know what they need.
They're the one team that needs a quarterback.
This is the piece that they need. The playoff team each year that doesn't get out of the wild card is missing the most important piece. That's right. And now, again, I wouldn't take Jalen Milroe now, and you're not going to get him in the second round because you don't have a second round.
Well, that's like I said, for real life circumstances.
They go Sanders in.
That's what I think that they would go to because he's got everything that they need essentially. Like they need somebody who's going to keep their offense like on track. They need somebody who's actually ready to take the field sooner rather than later. And I think Shedeur has a ton of experience.
He's not coming in with Hollywood, right? Like his dad did. He is going to come in like all business. Lunch pail, much like the Steelers. That's the Steeler DNA. I think this is the pick, to be honest. And again, fellas, stewards, and the goats. Let's not be surprised if the Steelers have to get up there. And if they jump up to take the quarterback, they're going to get begged for it, right? Like, oh, you had to like mortgage off like your future. Well, look, I get it that there is a little sense of urgency and maybe a little bit of nervousness that of course, you're never going to hear about. But right now, there's no, like, again, even if Aaron Rodgers says, like, tomorrow, okay, I'm coming. That's what that might be good for 8 and 9. You may not even get to 10 and 7.
All right, so we'll go Sanders there then.
I think this is the future play. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will say one thing really quick here. This is before we got the Steelers. Recent reports it's coming back into the news how much Mike Tomlin regrets not taking Lamar Jackson.
Well, who's Lamar in this draft?
Yeah, there is no
Milroe.
Lamar in this draft.
See, now,
Jalen Milroe
As
is
far
not
as skill
Lamar.
set, he's not. But skill set wise,
So Gilbert,
like you said,
Yeah,
like Gilbert said, fits.
and
Like I don't because we had the same things that
I
people were
feel like
saying
that's the
with
thing.
Lamar coming out. They're saying the same thing about Milroe. Is Milroe as good as Lamar? No, but the
Those people,
same thing was said back then.
those
Now,
people are wrong. Those people are wrong. Those people are wrong, brother. Those people are wrong. And the reason why I say that, is because Lamar Jackson won a Heisman in college. Lamar Jackson came close to winning 2 Heismans in college.
oh no,
Lamar
I agree
Jackson
with you.
was throwing for 3,000 yards and rushing for 1,000 yards in college.
I agree with you.
I'll also
But
play.
So, like,
I'll
if
also
you look at the numbers and the production and what he was able to do, Lamar Jackson was a much better prospect than anybody ever gave credit for coming out of college.
I 100% agree with you. But when you see something once, you take a shot the second time. That's why Anthony Richardson was drafted 5th overall because he looked like Josh Allen.
so all right. Just to play a tiny bit of devil's advocate here. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think
But Milroe's not.
I don't think they brought in DK Metcalf to pair him alongside George Pickens just so they could have like a project quarterback possibly throwing them the ball. I don't think that's the case. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that Gilbert says that Milroe is perhaps the better fit for the Steelers. Then what are you going to do? That means they're coming out of this pick, right? They're trading down into the second round to pick up maybe their trade partner and maybe something else in a later round. And they're going to go with Jalen Milroe, Mason Rudolph,
I think that could be the
maybe
plan of
Aaron.
action.
That might be the plan of action, but that's the only way it's getting done. There's no way on God's green football earth that, look, Milroe's going to Green Bay, not because they believe he's a first-round grade. He's going there so he could be there the next day to hug Roger Goodell. And it's great PR for him to be there the second day. He does not have a first-round grade. If a team, oh my Lord, if a team happens to take him in the first round.
Do you know me? A team falls in love.
Look.
You gotta understand there. You gotta understand, like the Browns are in love with Milroe. The Rams are in love with Milroe.
For the
There's a lot of
sake
teams in love with him. So
for the sake of time, we'll pick this conversation up at another show because again,
So you said Sanders, so Sanders goes Steelers.
Yep.
we're gonna give Shedeuer the Steelers. They're starting to get a little uneasy over there. So, and let's do like some rapid fires. Let's get into the second round.
Yeah, let's go get it going.
All right, Chargers are on the clock. Who do we got? Here?
All right, Jax, you go.
All right, let's go with wide receiver here. I'm going to go with Emeka Egbuka for the Chargers.
Oh my gosh.
This is a good spot where team
That would be
trade
nice.
back into the first two.
I can't believe it. The Packers missed them.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers need a wide receiver, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but the Packers get.
Real.
Mm-hmm.
Who's up?
You're up.
I'm up.
You're up.
All right then.
It's on you, see? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Packers, now that they missed on Abuka, I'm gonna give them an edge. Bill Williams. Give him a dog. Give him a dog out of Georgia. Vikings.
All right. So that's for doing.
Marvin.
If we were to do a rapid fire, I do a trade right here, but so we're not.
All right, trade.
All right. Cleveland moves back in.
So your team is Cleveland?
No, my team is Minnesota, but Cleveland trades back in.
Cleveland trades back in.
4.
We're trading with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
The Browns. There they are.
And they'll give up the 33rd and the
Okay.
67th.
And the 67th?
Yeah.
So give that package to the Rams.
And do the Vikings have to give them anything?
No.
No?
Just the first part, whatever.
They're moving back.
That's wild.
We're
Give
doing it. Let's do it.
Give them.
They're giving up pick 24. Duh.
All right, pick 24 for.
Give them San Fran's 187.
Oh, 24 for 33.
Force trade.
Force trade.
Well, no, they have to take 24.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't they take 24? He did take 24.
No.
Well, no, they have to take 24.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't trade the 24th pick.
No, he didn't.
Zeke didn't trade the 24th pick.
Motherfucks. All right, we're done here.
All right, so
my apologies.
if it had gone through, then the Cleveland Browns would pick Jalen Milroe. Let him sit behind a year behind Flacco. But since that didn't go through,
they'll get Milroe in the second round. That's the whole point.
I'm just telling you what I'm hearing, dude. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. There's other teams that are hot for him that might move up.
You're hearing.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
right.
All right.
It's not happening.
I don't buy it.
I'm not buying it either.
I don't buy
Vikings.
It. Right.
So the Vikings are taking.
Well, for the sake of the exercise, do you want to just pick Milroe here and say that the Browns picked them? We can just do that. Okay.
No.
Who Vikings fit?
They go DB the next. They go Harrison, Maxwell Harrison.
Okay. Here's the other dude that a lot of people seem to be high on for Pittsburgh. I don't see that either. Not this guy, right?
No.
From
Kentucky.
Yeah.
No. Hairston.
Hairston.
There we go.
There we go is correct. Draft. And the Texans are on the clock.
All right, go Marvin.
Kelvin Banks. Too easy.
Yeah. JX.
Right,
Look who we got.
Les.
Oh, we're gonna sit here and steal this pick. I will gladly take James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee.
You don't think they go Loveland right here?
Pick him and Jared Bird.
No Loveland. I don't think he's the blocker that Sean loves. Great wide receiver. He's a big wide receiver. I just don't think he has it to be the blocker that he wants.
All right. You're up, C.
Okay. I'm torn between Walter and Shamar for the Ravens. One interior here. Lions are up.
They go Gray Zabel.
Where did I see Gray Zabel?
Right there.
No.
Right
I
there.
saw Gray Zabel. Somebody was talking about him. They were talking him up. They were very high on this guy. Who the hell was that? It'll come to me. But they said that this guy is going to be a difference maker. He's going to be very, very, very good. They said. I mean, look, I take his word for it.
Yeah, day one impact player.
Who the hell was
Mhm.
that?
Number one guard.
Dane Brugler?
They have him listed here as a tackle.
They can play.
Yeah,
All,
he's
he can
good.
play all 5 positions. I think all 5.
Hmm
They, in the Senior
Yeah,
Bowl,
he has
played all
versatility, great
positions, so that's
versatility.
why- yeah, that's why they're saying. doing that.
We got the Commanders.
All right, you're up, Marvin.
Washington Commanders. Well, they got their tackle position short up. Luther Burden.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, give Jaden Daniels all the weapons he can handle.
Lex Luthor Burden.
Yeah, man, you got Terry, Luther, Debo, Zach Ertz.
I bet you $10 Luther Burden is not a first round.
Let
pick.
Jaden Daniels cook.
Who's up? Am I up?
Not a first round pick. Oh, I can see him not being a first round pick
Jax is
because
up.
there are a lot of things about his game that people will try to nitpick and push him out. Yeah, I can see that.
Well, no, I said I told JX the other day. I mean, it's either he can only run 2 routes, and that's all he's going to be good for in this league, or he's going to get the right coaching. He's going to develop into a more well-rounded wide receiver that could be a weapon for whoever drafts him. But it's 50-50.
Yeah.
It's going to be one or the other.
hmm
We got
He's
the
going to be a
Bill-
returner day one. Wherever he gets drafted, they're going to make him a returner day one.
There's another possibility. The Bills.
All right, Jax, you're up.
Yeah, I really want to reach here. I want to reach so bad, but
Who would that be for?
yeah, let's do it. I mean, it's not real. Go give me Travion Henderson
Ooh,
from the
Oh my
Ohio State.
God.
Just killing.
Spicy.
He's killing
Did they-
people's
then
boards.
Did they trade James Cook then?
Yes, that means that James Cook is no longer
Killing
going to be
people's
there. It's going to
boards.
be
He's
it's
killing
gonna
people's
be
boards.
Ray Davis and Travion Henderson moving forward.
Send James Cook to the Chiefs.
Yeah, what are the Chiefs? What are the Chiefs
Oh
doing?
God, that'd be scary. That'd be freaking scary.
Send James
Can-
Cook to the Chiefs.
Yeah, can Bean not help the Chiefs for once and actually take away from them? Because if I
Yeah,
had the
right.
Chiefs pick,
he can't help
I'm
it.
probably picking Travion Henderson.
Every season, he looks forward to getting beat by the Chiefs on his way to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he just continues to help them every year. So he's actually going to not help
Every
them
year.
take Travion Henderson.
All right,
Right?
you're up.
We know the Chiefs. We know what they need.
You need tackle.
They need trenches, man. They absolutely what we witness. They absolutely must. Now, problem with this team is they're always picking at this part of the draft for the last freaking 7 years. So I mean, I don't know. It's hard to hit on any of these guys. I don't know. Do you take a gamble with Derek Carmen here? Do you?
Maybe Simmons from Ohio State.
No, they have a good center. They have an all pro center.
No,
They don't
Simmons is
need
the
to
tackle.
draft another. Oh, Simmons. I thought you said center from
Yeah.
Ohio State. My bad.
No, Simmons.
But yeah, Simmons. Yeah, Simmons would be a great pick.
Shamari.
Simmons would be a great pick.
Super Bowl champs.
Wait, that was cornerback though.
No, the didn't you say the tackle?
Yeah.
What did you pick?
That was a corner.
Simmons.
That's okay.
Shamari
Doesn't matter.
Simmons.
It doesn't matter the
Simmons.
corner.
Look at his numbers, man. Look at these
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah. I mean,
This
he's
is this was the this is the
he
He
first
picks.
team
no,
all
he meant the
he was
tackle
Yeah,
from
first team
Ohio
all pro.
State.
that's right. They
First
need
team all
they,
pro.
they need a DB also, don't they?
Jeez.
Yep, you're right.
I mean,
You're
they
right.
do need a DB, but
Who do the Eagles pick here?
Sieg needs you need to drink a Celsius, brother.
I'm cutting down on them as a matter of fact.
Maybe that's the problem. All right,
The,
so Eagles on the board.
the Eagles.
They go
whose turn
Loveland.
to pick?
They go
Who's
Loveland.
who's Uncle Howie taking?
They go
Loveland?
Loveland. They go Loveland.
All right,
Oh
well now
yeah,
the Vikings are back on the clock.
I could see Howie Roseman deciding to be a dick and draft Derek Harmon in the NFL.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe next round. The Vikings. We got the Vikings are up. The Vikings found themselves in a very advantageous situation with their last deal with Cleveland.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think the Vikings should double down and get Trey Amos, get another DB. They've been missing there, so might as well just keep swinging. Take two swings at corner.
All right, so the Giants now.
You're up, Jax.
All right.
Giants did take Travis Hunter.
So do we just want to do it? Do we just want to dart right here? Yeah, let's just dart right here for the
This is
Giants.
dark. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Let's just dart right here.
Wow. Interesting. Well, you know what?
Yeah,
If
not
this
bad.
if this were to happen, which I don't think that he'll fall or land this long, I do think he is a first round pick. I wouldn't be mad at this for the Giants. I definitely would not be mad. Titans are on the clock.
You're up.
That's all you see.
I thought I just did the oh, all right. Titans. Well, we know they had Cam, right?
Hmm.
Cam's gonna need weapons. Jaden Higgins.
Nice.
Oh, there's Jaden Pickens. There we go.
Jacksonville, ladies and gentlemen.
They go Nick Scorden. Right here. Edge.
Hmm.
They need the defense. The Raiders.
Bill
The
Russell on
Raiders.
the
Who do we? Who was the first? Who was the first pick that the Raiders had?
Inty.
GT.
Oh, Genty was the first pick. I'll take Kevin Winston Jr. Get Pete Carroll another good DB.
Love it. The Patriots. Mason Graham.
I'm going to go with um, running back
Ooh.
Quinshawn Judkins.
Judkins.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
Judkins.
All right.
I'm
Bears.
gonna- The Bears.
Bears go Caleb Johnson.
That's the pick I would have done for the Patriots.
Nice.
All right. I like him on the Bears.
I like
I'll take that
Johnson,
on the. I'll take
Oh, yeah.
that dude on the Bears, and we can all
I
say
would
goodbye.
also take him on the
Mhm.
Bears.
We can all say goodbye to
Yeah, he'd be
DeAndre
nice on the
Swift in the
Bears.
process.
Yep.
Caleb Johnson. This guy's a freaking. This is a dog right here. The Saints. What did we do with
Saint-
We did
Derek
Tech.
Harmon. Hmm.
And it's the Bears again getting their second pick of the
Actually,
second
as a matter
round.
of fact, for this,
The Bears, the Bears are in a driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
They are in the driver's seat for this draft. Let me tell you, no, they really are.
Mhm.
They've got the
They are.
10th. They've got the 10th pick, and they've got 2 in the second. Oh well, they have 2
Mhm.
in this second. They have 2 in this
And they
second.
don't
Maybe
Let
not
me
this
and
ask.
they
Let
don't
me
second.
need
ask.
a quarterback. They don't need
Let me
any
ask,
corners.
let me ask JX this real quick. With the Rams picking at 90, I think Luther Burden is still on the board.
I picked 90. Oh no,
No, no, no, no, no.
no.
Listen, no. I'm saying the Rams don't
Oh,
pick until pick 90. I think Burden is still on the board. Do you think the Rams would try to trade up to get him into the second?
I think we.
Because they have no second round draft choice.
yeah, that's why I think they're a trade back candidate, if anything. I think we're benefiting off of the folks who want Shedeur or Dart or whomever.
Yeah,
I don't think we're making the 22nd pick. I think we're probably going to be picking at 35, 36, 37,
yeah.
and then having an additional third or fourth, whatever that trade looks like.
All right. So who's up? You up, JX?
Yeah, it is me. I'm gonna go with I don't like him, but let's go with wide receiver Jack Besh from
Yes,
TCU.
that's my guy.
Nice.
He's getting a lot of steam. He certainly is.
Mhm.
The Jets are on the clock, baby. Is it my pick?
Yes, it
Yep.
is.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
I mean, the Jets need another wide receiver badly, but I don't think they need one that badly. Um, no, we need to. I want to take this dude right here. He's been on the board too long. Shamar Stewart,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Niners.
Right. Gilbert had a question, so let's put it up. You think Titans should trade here where they're at for Pickens and another pick? That's
That's not. I mean,
It's not a
that's
bad
not.
idea.
it's
That's
not a
not
bad idea at all.
crazy. Yeah, it's not crazy.
So I still don't see how him and Metcalf are going to get along.
Uh,
But I'm there for the meltdown.
that there you go, right there. Meltdown. I mean,
Because you know it's coming. Yeah.
George Pickens comes in with a lot of like he's questionable, and I don't mean like with injury. I'm talking about what's going on upstairs emotionally.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know.
too.
I don't know if I would want that,
Mhm.
Gilbert. I don't know if I want that headache.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
baggage.
The theory and the actual the maneuver, the transaction makes a hell of a lot of sense, but I don't know if I want to do it for George Pickens.
Yeah. All
Who's
right. So
another
right,
Mhm.
who would be another good candidate though? Because he
For
brings up
Pickens,
not necessarily Pickens to get Tennessee another wide receiver.
T.
I think.
Higgins.
Oh, nah, Diego, nah, he's not going nowhere.
that
Why
contract,
not? Because he got paid.
but yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
the
mean
contract
Technic,
is wacky.
they're committed to T
yeah.
Higgins
Technically, that money doesn't kick in for another year.
Yeah, but they're still committed to him. They would have traded them by now if they weren't committed. That was an awful
Not
message to
not
pay him and then.
necessarily because now that they yeah because now that they added a price tag to his name, they can up his price. That's what the Giants did with Odell Beckham Jr. They never wanted to keep him, but they had to pay him though.
I think that might be a next year question because I just don't think this year they would just sign and then trade.
Now with all that,
Yeah,
now
maybe
with all
not this
those,
year. That's
now with
true.
all those, with the lights, camera, action, with all that stuff that went on, and him hugging Joe Burrow, and he's going to be a
Yeah,
banger at least for
Hmm.
this season.
All right. So Niners go tackle. They get
Yeah.
Josh Conley Jr. right here. They have to go.
Right here,
Yep. All right. You're up, Marvin.
Jerry's up. Jerry needs a running back. We gave him
Dallas
Jer-
Cowboys. Darius Alexander. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good pick. That'd be a good pick for him.
and they don't have
Yeah.
a running back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're up with the Colts.
Colts.
I'm gonna follow right behind him, and I'm gonna take Benjamin Morrison on the Colts. Benjamin Morrison.
Yes, sir.
Love
He
Benjamin
would be
Morrison.
a steal.
Yeah, I hope that hip feels right.
Mm-hmm. And he's coming in at a discount too because he was hurt.
Yeah, if he wasn't hurt, he's a top 10 pick.
All right, you're up for the
Yeah.
Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Big-
Easily.
Ravel.
General Vale,
All
another
right,
discounted pick.
Javon Ravel.
Cardinals go Tyreek Williams.
Good pick. Good pick.
The Finns.
The
We need
Finns.
somebody. Somebody needs to protect Zach Wilson.
Miami Dolphins. Xavier Watt.
Xavier Watts.
He's a
Speaking
stud.
of the,
Somebody needs to
Speaking of-
protect Zach Wilson.
yeah, someone needs to protect him.
All right, JX, you're up, bud.
Um, let's go. Let's go. Landon Jackson. Landon Jackson from Arkansas.
I like that.
Hawks. Hawks are going to select. They do need more guys in the freaking trenches. Give me someone from Alabama. That'll work. That'll work.
All right, Broncos. Where they went running back first round, right?
Broncos have
All
Amari
right, so
Hampton,
they
man.
go wide receiver, and they go Eric. I am Monar. Alec.
I like AU Maynard.
I mean,
Ayo, Ayo. Oh, he's called Ayo. Alec Ayo. Forget the rest of it. Ayo.
Yeah.
Ayamainer.
And it's funny, the wide receivers, like Denver has like 7. I could think of 7 wide receivers right now on the Broncos. Maybe 6. But like, I don't know. I don't think like little Jordan Humphrey.
They have a
may not make it.
Yeah, they have a bunch of wide receiver 2s and 3s.
Little
Yeah.
Jordan Humphrey's gone.
Twos
He's
and
signing with
threes.
No more little Jordan. Where's little Jordan?
I
I
want to
think
say
little Jordan might be on the
Chicago?
Chicago. No,
Giants.
I think
Chicago.
we're AFC.
Little Jordan.
All right, you're up, Jet or Marvin.
Think about that, little Jordan.
Seattle Seahawks. Lil Jordan.
You have someone that was named after.
I really like Brandon Swinson a lot.
All right.
Okay. From here, pick number 53.
Yeah, his tape was really good.
Is
many Ohio State dudes.
Is Xavier Watt still there, or is Nick Emmanuel still there?
Nope.
It's both safeties. What about Nick Emmanuel?
Oh yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, let's go with Nick Emmanuel.
I like it.
All right. You're up, C.
Am I? Well, since this is the round that they like to draft their wide receivers in.
Oh, Jalen Royals or Trey
Is it-
Harris.
Is it Royals
No.
or Harris? Which one?
Ooh, I think it's
don't like-
probably Harris.
Yeah, I think it's Trey Harris.
We're gonna give them Trey Harris because they need help. They
do.
need help at that position.
All right. The Chargers go They go D line. No, they went wide receiver. Go TJ Sanders.
TJ Sanders. Locked in. The Bills. Bills took.
Right.
Bills have Trayvon
Buffalo
Henderson.
Bills.
They have Trayvon Henderson. They've got James Cook. They've got Ray Davis. They've got Ty Johnson. Who are we taking now? Who are the Bills taking?
If we didn't do the Travion Henderson thing earlier, this would be a perfect spot for Cam Scatterboo because I feel like Cam
course.
Scatterboo would be the perfect Buffalo Bill,
Of
right?
course.
But we're gonna
He's a stealer.
go D line and go JT Tuamalau.
I love that. Good pick.
Boy, glad I didn't try to say that name.
JT.
All right,
Keep
Jack.
pounding, baby. Keep pounding.
I'm
Or
going to go
Tuamalau,
with
whatever.
who did they take first?
Who did they take first? Malachi.
Okay, Malachi. So I'm actually going to take I'm going to take Jalen Rose here. Jalen Rose for the Panthers.
Okay. Can't be mad at that.
Oh, I like that.
See, they don't. I mean, like that's kind of like a luxury pick. Perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Perfect situation.
Mhm.
Jalen Williams and the Packers need a wide receiver. I'm not sure if that was the pick, but that for the Panthers, it's a good pick, in my opinion.
All right, you're up, Sieg.
Texans are on the clock. I like this guy Princely. I think, but they need a wide receiver too. Shit, they need. Oh, actually, they need
Yeah.
this guy.
Mhm.
Give me Donovan Jackson. Give me more dogs. Dogs on the line. Ravens.
Ravens go Demetrius Knight Jr. No. I'm sorry. They go Carson Schwarzenegger.
Switching. There you go.
It's like a Belgian beer, right?
Rhino
It's like a German beer.
Rhino was challenging himself on the names today.
Every week, bro. Every week.
I challenge everyone and anybody always to look to improve. It only helps you. It helps you in the long run. Always look to improve. Got to always.
All right, you're up, Marvin.
Marvin.
Demetrius Knight Jr. screams Lions pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you're up.
Yeah, no, we picked Luther Burden here first. What running backs are left here for the Commanders?
Scatterboo, Sampson. Probably got. I'll give you the full list. Hold on.
Sampson.
RJ Harvey, DJ Giddens.
I will go with
some pretty good backs left.
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna go with my favorite. Let's go with RJ Harvey. The back of the second to the Commanders.
University of Central
Home run hitter
Florida.
for the Commanders.
See you later, Brian Robinson.
Washington football team.
All right, the Bills are up. They have Trayvon Henderson. They've got Ray Davis. They've got James Cook. They've got Johnson.
For now.
So should we give him Cam Scatterboo now? Oh, you know what else they got? They have Frank Gore Jr.
Oh yeah.
They do.
They got Frank Gore Jr. as well. So yeah, let's give
They're
them
loaded.
Yeah, they're really loaded. Now you know how I know that, right? I got Frank Gore Jr. on a taxi squad somewhere.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
All the running backs.
All right. So where do they go? Shepard.
Let's.
Mm,
Would you give him a tight end? I don't know if you.
No,
Look
they
at
have
this.
Dalton
No.
Kincaid. They still have Dawson Knox.
Yeah, and they
I
still
know.
have Dalton Kincaid too.
I know.
Jack Sawyer would be a nice play for them right there.
Give me a.
Or Princely.
What do the Bills need to do? The Bills need to stop people. Stop people. Yeah. No, not this one. No. Let's take a look over here. Interior. We have another Shamar. How many Shamars we have in this draft?
Yeah, I got two Shamars from Texas A&M.
We've got a couple of Shamars. We're gonna give him Shamar. We're gonna give him another Shamar.
All right. So Chiefs are on the clock.
You know the Chiefs.
Yeah, and this would be a spot that the Rams might trade back into. So having to wait to pick 90, but they're gonna go.
Les is going to hit no matter what.
Yeah.
He's gonna hit. I don't see them sacrificing future capital just to come back in. I really don't.
It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter who comes to me.
Yeah.
They're going to play good. It doesn't matter.
This team is ready.
So
It's almost ready-made. Almost.
They'll go interior lineman.
Interior, offensive lineman.
Yeah, and they go Jared Wilson.
A bulldog, baby. The pedigree. That's what we want. Dudes with pedigree, college pedigree. I think they have a greater chance for success in the NFL than dudes that come out of a smaller program. It's just the way I feel. Sue me for that. Eagles. I think this is the final pick of our 2025 two-round mock draft. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in, for joining us. Appreciate you very much. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Fantasy Goats. We've got plenty of content all off season. We're going to start cranking out the Dynasty and the Fantasy within the next week or so. A few weeks, a couple of weeks. I'm losing track of my time. Maybe Rhino's right.
All right, Marvin.
Now's not the time to be cutting back on Celsius.
No, it's not.
Marvin, let's make this last pick here.
Jack Sawyer.
Nice.
Captain Jack Sawyer.
Yeah, get some more D-line help.
Sawyer gets high on you.
From the Ohio State.
When they grade the draft, I mean, like, are they really giving us a grade? That play isn't in our play. Yeah, they're not really giving us a grade. All right, hang on. Let's take a look, man. Is there a pick? What pick? Is like a home run?
Where we screwed up with the Vikings one.
I bet you I don't make that mistake twice.
No.
I bet you that. But
and I should have just stuck with not try to do the grade.
I honestly think this is what's happening at number 21. Now, whether or not it stays here at 21 and the Steelers do play it right, because again, there's a lot of teams here right after. I don't think right. I mean, like right after if they could get past number 9 and not have to do anything with the Saints, no one else. I don't see anyone else taking a quarterback, and they could just sit back and wait, and they won't have to mortgage it off. But if they think that the Saints now, especially now, if they think that the Saints may pull the trigger, they're going to have to make the move, the Steelers. But I think, I don't know, any other thoughts, gentlemen? Stewards of the Goats?
I still think if they're worried about that, I don't think the Steelers move up. I think they stay put and either get Dart or Milrow. I know you don't think so, but
yeah, they essentially have a backup plan if they don't get Sanders. I really do think they like Milrow better, but like I said, we'll see because like I said, they had to bring Shedeur, and they had to bring Shedeur in for the possibility that he's a real possibility now.
Well, okay? Let me ask you something. So fine, we're all looking at number 9, the Saints. Let's just say they take one of the two. What's stopping the Colts from taking a quarterback to work on as a project behind Anthony Richardson, behind Daniel Jones? What would be stopping them from doing it? So I think that enough.
Paying Daniel Jones $14 million.
If I'm raising that question, that has to be on their mind as well, for them to at least make the phone call.
Mm-mm.
I'm not saying that it gets done.
No.
Nah.
I just don't see they having two projects in the building.
Yeah, I don't.
One of them.
And to make matters worse, next year's crop of quarterbacks is supposed to be much better than what this year has to offer. So if anything,
I agree with,
they have the
for
two
sure.
guys battle it out this year, and then they punt it next year, and then next year they look to draft another guy.
That you can make we could have the same conversation here with these Seahawks. I mean, when this Sam Darnold, I don't know if he's going to pan out on this team. He might, but he may not.
Yes, same thing with the Raiders.
Who the hell is their backup? Their backup is what's his face?
Exactly.
Oh no, Drew Lock just signed with the Seahawks.
No, not Drew Lock. It's the dude. It's the
No, I know.
Mm-hmm.
No, Drew Lock just signed with the Seahawks today.
It's the other dude from
The Raiders backup is AOC.
Yeah, he might get traded.
Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, AOC.
All right, but okay. So again, the Steelers may not have to. They may not have to move.
No, I don't think they do.
If they get Wim, though, they may not have to move. But I wouldn't be surprised. All right, guys. Great stuff. We'll see you again next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a wonderful evening.
All right.
All right.
All right, guys.